Hey, what's up, legends? Welcome back to another YouTube live stream. Today is Monday and we're doing a Draw with Stefan session, which means that we're gonna draw together. So you guys get to pick and submit a quote, your favorite quote probably, and type it in the comments below, and you can see maybe I'll get to pick your quote today. And we're just gonna draw for an hour, having a drawing session together. And the goal of this exercise is really about having some fun, having time to create, really taking the time to create, because we're living in a busy world where we are, pretty much divided with our attention in all different directions. And so what I want to do is to really start off this week with a creative exercise and just use the time for us both here, live stream, to draw and to do something creative. Now you, of course, can copy what I'm doing here on the live stream, but you can also create your own version of it. You can draw your own version of the quote. And so I'm gonna let you guys type in the comments below your favorite quotes, what you think we should draw together. If you need some inspiration for quotes, you can go to my Pinterest page. So I'm gonna just show over here. So let's see, cut to this here, and then also just get me here on the side. And so one of the things that I love to do is really to go on Pinterest and to explore some quotes, lettering here, for example. So here, that's more for inspiration. So let me go on quotes lettering. There we go. We got a whole board full of quotes that I love, that I am inspired by, that help me to come up with something. And so every time I find something that I feel like is really interesting, I'll try to write it down and to find something really cool. And I see now that those comments are coming in a little bit delayed for me, so do not worry here. But I'll see Ari, who's sending, I'll endure the night for the promise of light, sun hands. The only way to finish is to start. Ooh, I love this. I love this one, actually. So Mia got a great one over there. The only way to finish is to start. The best is yet to come, of course. This one is actually great too. I love that one. Freddie Tanos is sending that. Love is creativity. I love this one too. Oh, we already got so many great quotes. I'm really pumped about that. I'm gonna take the first one that I saw by Mia. The only way to finish is to start. So let's go over to our Procreate board here. I already started to sketch out some ideas, and I'm going to get a brand new canvas size here, and also just gonna pick out a brush. Sometimes I like to use actually a brand new brush that I haven't tried before. So this one here is Blacklist Ink Brush Pen, which is a brush pack that you can get on my shop. It's one from Blacklist Studios, a friend of mine from Australia. He creates these beautiful pieces, and he's a great artist, and not just like a lettering artist, but like a real true artist, crafting beautiful things. So absolutely stunning. So the reason why I choose to sometimes start with a brand new pen that I haven't used a lot is because it pushes my creativity. I love just to have this different style, different pressure, different feel to it. So one of the greatest things that I've learned probably the last 6 months is whenever you're stuck, like change a brush, change a pen, get something new, because that is really helpful just to get the creativity flowing again. So what we have the only way. So the only way to finish is to start. Now, it's not recommended to start off, of course, with a long quote for a 1 hour drawing session, but you know, we don't care about like the challenge. We love challenge. I hope that you guys love challenges as much as I do. The best way to grow as a creative is to challenge yourself all the time and continuously. So we're gonna pick up that quote, we're gonna start drawing, and I'm just gonna switch over here. The reason why I like to draw in this way is because usually I would post something later online. And I might actually change from sketching here on the iPad to do it maybe on a cardboard piece. Like I prepared a cardboard piece, something that I haven't done in a long time. I've been practicing here something. I saw that on TikTok, writing minimum looks really cool. So here we go. I got a lot of different ways that I wrote minimum, but that's going into the trash. So let's start. So we got the quote written on top. We are just gonna set it up here, and I'm just gonna write that down. So the only way, I like that. So here, the only way to, I feel like I already got like something here. Let's see. To finish is to, well, probably have to, is to start. Something like that. Maybe I'll change some, you know what? Only start. Ooh, I like this. Okay, I got something here. So this is not how I teach composition, how I would teach composition. I'm like already feeling like I got what I have, but like this is when it's kind of annoying. I guess it's probably annoying for a lot of you watching who want to learn something like how do you do this? How do you get to just write that out and just like, ooh, I already feel like I nailed the composition like in one go without actually trying. That happens sometimes, but it usually comes with a lot of practice. And of course this here is mostly just a sketch, so it's not really done yet, but I already love it, and I feel like I can use this. So I'm just gonna pick this out here. I'm gonna duplicate that, so copy and paste. So now I got this alone. I can center this really well. And now I'm just gonna switch over to another brush, a brush that will let me draw a little bit more complete. So here are my top 5 brushes that I have. That's a video for another time. Top 5 brushes. Could be a really cool video of the brushes that I use all the time. Like 90% of my work are usually done with the same brushes all over and over again. So let's see here. I feel like this would be really cool to have like in a monoline. So I'm just sketching out a couple of lines. And because we have like just an hour to draw, I'm not gonna spend too much time on perfecting all these lines, just trying to get the most out of that. And what I love about this quote, and this is why I picked that quote. So for the next time, if you have to submit a quote, the best way, closest way to my heart is finding a quote that has to deal with overcoming obstacles, starting creativity, positivity, and also just like inspiration, like something motivational. That's always a good quote for me. Also, guys, I hope you had a great weekend, that this was a fun weekend for you guys, that you had a relaxing weekend, and that, yeah, you guys are doing good. That's the hope. So I'm just gonna keep it simple as well. So simplicity is something that I've been working on for a long time now, and I'm still working on it, is not to try to make too much. Like usually what you'll try to do is to overdo it, or you'll end up overdoing it in most cases. So again, if you're new here, this camera is shutting off because it's shutting off. It's a camera that is set to shut off every 30 minutes. Don't ask me why, it's just the way it is. And I am feeling to give this to here a little bit more space. What would be perfect is to actually put that into into a radius there to finish. And let's put that into some, let's actually first put that into some strong, bold letters. let's see how this is developing. I like this. I like this where it's headed, where it's heading as well. Just trying to center it a tiny little bit better. Maybe the F is just a tiny little bit too large. The S here could be kind of like spread out a tiny little bit. And all right, this is kind of looking good. And then we got the, again, we got the same, kind of want to keep the same style as the only. And I love my S's this way. So there's a fun thing about letters. It's like you want to keep the styles kind of in a similar way. And one thing that I want to test out more in the future as well is on this channel is logo design. Like a lot of what we do is also just drawing logos for clients, for companies, and lettering like is the perfect art form for that. And so now it's just, how can we do that? How can we play around with it and stuff like that? So here I go, and I'll pick that up. I'll try to scale it to the approximately same size. Then the only on top here is to finish. And so here I'm just gonna try to use more of that space, which is good. Here this might be a little bit higher up, and then we'll maybe add something in here. So again, trying to simplify the whole thing, not to complicate it too much. Maybe even reduce the size here of the two to kind of like keep it small to finish. And then we can kind of like pick that all up, push it higher. And then that was kind of the idea, was to make the F larger, higher, just kind of like to box it in. But the one thing that I do not like about that is pretty much that, well, unless we kind of find like a middle ground for all of this, something like that, perhaps. Nah. All right, very simple, very basic, just a way of putting all things together. So I might increase here the only. Why did it not pick up? Why did it not change? Should I just increase the size, or should I actually, I can also freeform and kind of like widen that up. So the way here below has a little bit more space, and I can do the same thing here for the start. Like when I finalize it, I got more flexibility to move those things around. And so with the start, pretty much can do the same thing. Also just fix the slants. That kind of looks cool to me. I don't know about you guys, but this looks pretty good here. So that is the first bit, the first start. Now, the next bit is to actually start to finalize that. So we're already like 10 minutes in. We are off to a really good start. And I hope that you guys are following along. So again, very simple, 2 words, up slant, so only and start, kind of like the same style, give you a beautiful look. So whenever you're looking at it, even the styles, using the same styles will help you to kind of focus on those words and read those in like 2 words. So only, start. And then you can reread the whole quote. The only way to finish is to start. And then like only, finish, start. So I don't know, kind of makes sense to me. So okay, let's see. I'm picking up another brush here, and this is kind of more like a finalizing brush. Usually I would totally go for my grid builder and letter builder, but here I feel like I wanna try out something again, just to play around more. And the thing about always using the same tools is kind of like, not just it gets boring, but it's also after sometimes like you are not going to improve yourself. So it's always good. It's kind of like running or cycling with the same bike or the same, like running with the same shoes, like after a while you're just gonna switch off those shoes. You want to try out something new. You want to see kind of like how you've improved over time. If those kind of like if you've been running with like an oxygen tank, or I don't know what kind of examples I'm giving here. Those are weird examples. If you've been running with something that helps you to run, let's say I don't have any good examples. It's terrible. It's kind of like using the iPad all the time and then suddenly you start drawing by hand. That's probably the best example. And so you want to make sure that, like when I draw by hand on a chalk wall or something, like I do not have those tools. So I just don't want to make myself dependent on them. And it's also just a good practice. But I promise you, it's gonna look totally better if I would use the tools that I've created for myself, actually, for that exact purpose. So here I'm trying to get like a monoline style, and one thing that is difficult is to really get those lines straight. I'm not sure if I feel like if I would use a pen, if I'd actually start to draw slower, because I cannot just undo, redo all these things. So it might actually change the way you draw at the speed you draw, because you're trying to draw at a different speed. So let's see. So let's fill this in here. Boom. All right, so one of the first things that I notice here on this quick sketch, quick drawing, is that here the spacing is not fixed or really done well. Also this here is a little bit annoying me a tiny little bit. One thing that I can also try is to just change, maybe liquefy. Actually, it should have worked. Oh, push here. Something more like this. Hard to say. So a little help here would be to get a drawing assist, edit drawing guides, reduce the grid size, maybe place the grid size to a nice height. Just like that. Okay. And then I can use that also to help me draw the letter sizes here. One thing that I've noticed though in my drawing lately is that I've gotten boring with my lettering styles. At least that's my impression of it. I'm not sure if you guys will share that as well. But like if I look at all my lettering styles, kind of like it has gotten the same over and over again. And so one of the things that I want to work on more this year and the next season as well is to really improve my styles again, to test out some new ideas, new styles, and to branch out. And so usually one of the things that I would, the advice that I would give anyone starting out, especially starting out, is to really always keep looking. Like even if you've been doing this for 5-10 years, I feel like it's too early to set yourself on a style. Like yes, some styles can become your signature style, you know. Well, and that could be helpful, but other than that, you do not have to have your own style. So, you know, S's are probably just the hardest letter to draw, like just to keep that shape. Trying to keep it like in the same style than the rest of the letters. Now, this is really where I would wish to have my letter builder right now, but hey, we're trying to do it with as little help to tools as possible. And that's okay. We're learning, we're practicing. We are getting better as well and just doing our best. That's the goal. So here, I'm just gonna adapt that style more. Give it some slight serifs, not too much, but just slight serifs. All right, so the only finish done, not done. No, we got so much more to go. We got styles to add in. We got some flourishes to add later on. We got a ton of things that we can still improve upon on this piece, which I love, which I'm getting to love more and more. But first, starting here with every single element, trying to really improve upon and get better. Okay, that's still a little cheating here. Just like that. And then finally, the T. Now, since it's closed, yes, perfect. And then, you can hear that little swish at the bottom. Should I get this R out? Maybe. Yeah, why not? And then just to finish it off here, the final stroke on the T to fill it out. All right, so where we are now, we still got to fill out those words in between. Definitely feel like the only thing here at the top, I'm just gonna duplicate that copy just so I don't lose anything, but I'm under the impression that here the L doesn't need to be here. Could just be here like that. And one of the things that I'm already like thinking ahead is kind of like thinking about what if we add the like only and start and we make that into a 3D piece. So we can add some shadows, we can add some other elements. So we're just, as we go on, already thinking about those next steps, always thinking about some more additional items, and just to keep our brain occupied and going. Now, I'm just not a big fan of these strong, super strong serifs here, so I'm just gonna reduce them a tiny little bit. Okay, so now the spacing is just off a tiny little bit. Now I'm just nitpicking on some details here, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but it's good, it's good. We're getting closer and closer, so that is very good. Okay, for the arc, now I cannot resist, but for the arc, I'm just gonna get one of the grid builder here. Arc large. Is there an arc small? Arc small. No, I'm gonna go for the arc large. I'm gonna reduce the size here tiny little bit. Try to put that into the middle. Actually, I have no idea where the middle is right now. It's a little bit frustrating, but I believe it could be here. And jump back 2. I'm gonna put that all in another layer. Good, this is in a separate layer. So since the W is taking like 5 pieces, this one is like 3 and 3. I'm gonna try like 5, 3, and 3. Wait, so 1. Now this is some math that I'm doing in my head just to get the middle of everything. So I'll say start here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then like that. Doesn't really make sense. So I'm just gonna go try, and then we can move everything along if we need to. All right, this looks pretty appropriate. Now I'm just gonna find the middle, the center, which kind of looks like it is around here. And now I can just perfect those lines. Now, something that I've been noticing lately on Procreate is that the more you rotate, the more you shift sizes and all that, the more will pixelate it weirdly, just kind of like this here. So I don't know, this is something that has been bugging me a little bit. Kind of like something that I just know like Photoshop does a lot better, but still Procreate is an absolutely beast when it comes to apps and just wonderful. So I love it. Awesome. So here we go. Now I can take that away. And I probably will have to want to move the only around just a tiny little bit, or just move the way. Do I have to move the way? I kind of want the way to be somewhere around here. But then still, with the only, it will probably have to move somewhere there. Perhaps I can just move it here. And then by adding here this stroke, probably can kind of like balance it out what happens on the back here. And perhaps even move the whole thing here. The Y at the bottom here. All right, so now we just gotta add the 2. So let's see, I'm gonna be using a trick here of duplicating some elements just for consistency's sake and making sure that we stay as consistent as possible. Okay, that's looking good. Then we're just actually gonna pick up the from the top layer here. We're gonna put it down well, actually, I'm not gonna want to put it too far down because we're gonna introduce some 3D as well. So for that, I probably will want to have that in different layers. Now I'm just gonna copy this one again. Is to start. See, now that I have this, I can pretty much build the S next to it. So I just have a size comparison, size element, which is really helpful for that. So I'm seeing there's a discussion in the YouTube live stream on here in the live chat about being introvert. It's very fascinating. I wish I could swoop in and see what you guys are writing all about. But with the time crunch, I'm just tiny little bit pressured to work this out here. But look at that. So here we go, so I'm just gonna hide this away, gonna bring back all these other elements, like that. So that is what it looks like, perfect. Now I'm gonna try to actually get out here the only and the start. And maybe take this one out here. So, well, let's see. Actually, let's use it with it. Copy and paste. So we have a second layer. And now I can kind of move it out. So magnetic, put it on an angle. That looks to be good. And let's start to color in the background. Let's add it some, let's try to get a cool color templates. So color combination are a really difficult thing even for me. Like you will see me, I wear black all the time. My background is black. Usually my colors are all black and white in most cases. So there are a couple of different things that you can do if you want to get really cool colors. One is find inspiration that you think is like perfect. So example, I could go in here. For example, I have lettering inspiration. I'll look up some inspiration where I feel like, ooh, this is great. There are some great colors inside here. For example, this piece here, I kind of like the mix of colors. Really great thing. So this is Ben Johnson. Of course, he got some great color combos. But I can also just see, for example, this is one piece that I made that's really, really simple, 2 colors. But this is kind of where you can start finding really good colors by actually looking up other examples. For example, this one here, this looks, well, this isn't even, it kind of looks like it's Mary-Kate McDevitt, but it doesn't appear to be. Illustrators usually have great taste for colors too. So I love that. And if I look at this here, you'll see that there's a shape in the background, which I absolutely adore. So one of the things that we can do is to give this here a tiny little tint. It doesn't have to be the final colors yet. I'm gonna add even maybe a lighter tint than that. And then I'm gonna click done. I'm gonna add a layer. I'm gonna choose maybe a more stronger color, darker color. And I'm gonna see if I can add something here just to give it some color, kind of like that. Maybe this is a weird shape. Maybe I'm just gonna try some more shapes. Maybe just a blob, not too strong. And then what can we do? We can change this here, so play around with some color effects. or just tap on invert. That usually does the trick too. So here we go. Now we're just gonna choose these layers and put them a little bit lower down. And so you start to see there's so many, already some small things that you can see, oh, that works pretty well. I'm actually gonna duplicate this here, and I'm gonna take out the finish from here as well. Copy and paste. So I don't think there's anything left on this layer here, but this one, so if I invert this again, I'll pick up this layer. Yeah, that works. And then I'll actually start to combine those two elements. So by using the pen, going to black, I can combine these corners just to get the 3D out, the extrusion really well and nice. And so the cool thing now about Procreate is really I can still change all the colors around if I want to, no matter how I've chosen now. And that's the great thing about it, is really I'm still extremely flexible. And so one of the things that I would recommend to you if you're working with a client is to always let them know about that that you are able to switch things around. Like, they don't have to be that way. You just made a choice and you want to advance a project, stuff like that. That's usually helpful for a client to know. And so just saying that will show your client as well that you're trying, you're like taking the lead, and that is always a good sign. So now I want to pick up these two pieces here. And so I'm just gonna, why is this not, oh, wrong layers. There we go. So the only way to start, so I'm just gonna pick that down, place it here. I might actually just move that around. What about even kind of moving this here? Kind of like that. Okay, so finish is also one word that I want to change the color from, so we'll invert that too. We'll drag it up in the same, trying the same angle. Maybe even higher than all the others. So again, connecting all the corners. And then just to help me here, I'm just gonna hide that all, perfect. And we're almost 10 minutes out of the hour mark. So we already in for 47 minutes and counting. And so I feel like we're doing great progress in the little time that we have. And again, I'm learning so much just by making snap decisions. So this is kind of like what is great about this exercise, about practicing drawing a little bit on a speed challenge or just on a time limit, is that you do not waste time by overthinking some decisions, like should I do this or should I not do this? You just do it, and then afterwards, when you're done, you're realizing like, oh, this was a great idea. I should have done this a lot sooner. I should have tried this again as well. And you see, I already forgot something here. So let me go back. That, yes. And so simple, effective. Now let's see, pick up these two, place it a little bit lower. Maybe like there. And then we have the is to. We can kind of lower that down over here. All right, that looks already pretty cool. So what if, let's see, we get this down over here, and then we drag it down maybe somewhere here, invert, but we just reduce the opacity a tiny little bit. We hide this one and we reduce the opacity of here. So now we can color this one in. So this is a tiny little bit trickier because I barely see what I have to color in. But I feel like I should have gone more for something else. So let's put that back up. Let's do it by the eye. We do not have enough time to really go in precisely, and I realize that here there's not everything that is completed. Kind of like that. Let's see if we can change way, turn that higher up, kind of more like here, so you can still read it, so it's legible and readable. And then we'll move this one up here tiny little bit too, maybe even change the size. And I'm totally missing the "the," so the "the" probably got lost in this layer here. So I'm just gonna pick this one up, and I'm going to duplicate that, and now I can move that around and see over here if it's not lost. No, it kind of looks cool. So now finally some flourishes around. Let's see, we grab that color and we change it around, maybe going into more yellowish. Ooh, that is not a great yellow. What about this here? That looks okay. So kind of weird placements of dots and stickers stuff. I don't know. That is weird. That looks just a little bit off. So let's see. Let's go back to the inspiration that we had before. This one here. So they use kind of this. Let's see if we find something else that we could use as inspiration. A lot of shapes, again, these stars and stuff, but that's something that I've used all the time, so I'm trying to find something a little bit different that I could use in this piece here. I love this here. I've already tried that once to kind of like mix it in with some elements, so kind of like have this, like the background kind of taking shape there. Let's see if I find something else. Perhaps not. All right, no time to really waste here. Let's go for something more bright. drops never hurt. All right, this is pretty much done. I'm gonna take off this here. We can finally add some, like the finish would definitely also need a 3D-ish look here. So we're just gonna drag that down and kind of like put that here. And we're gonna invert that again, reduce the opacity as well. Kind of like color that in just for the end before we hit the hour mark. Well, actually I still have enough time left. I do not know why I'm stressing so much. I got actually more than enough time, so I shouldn't be hurrying too much here. Alright, now what else could I add? Like this, oh, okay. Huh, I didn't realize that I was drawing on the wrong layer. There's something that I don't know what happened. Some sun layer. There it is. Okay. There we go. Fix that. Perfect. Yeah. Let's call it. The only way to finish is to start. So we started off, and let's look at the replay of this video, and that's why I love to use the iPad. We started off by just writing down the quote again. We started by drawing a sketch, and I kind of like already instantly hit where kind of like I wanted to go. And then with a lot of tweaks around, we got to finish it, finish this piece. Already thought of a step ahead by trying to figure out like how can I improve this on, and that's where we looked at the inspiration. We saw kind of like that shape made already a lot of difference, and then we added all these elements in here, added some like 3D shadows and all that in. So I'm really pumped of how this looks. You can again go all out with this piece. You can add more to it. You can change the background. Like I could go in here, change the colors of the background. Like, I don't know, kind of like more darker theme. But hey, there's so much you can try out. It's never done, it's never a finished piece. And I really want to encourage you to keep on trying, to keep on improving your piece. And I hope that you've learned a lot by doing so. Now, I'm excited that you've been here, that you've been drawing with me. I hope that you've learned something. Don't forget to share your artwork with me. I would love to see what you've created during this time, during this Draw With Me session, that you've learned something new. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, to hit the subscribe button, like button, and leave a comment below to see what you want me to do next. One of the things that I want to do is to play around with logos and to see like how I can improve logos and do all of that. And finally, another thing as well is if you want to help support this channel beyond just subscribing, you want to help make more videos, make more awesome stuff, like even given more ideas, inputs, and like request some ideas, then one of the things that you can do is to actually become an exclusive member and become a Patreon, a supporter of this channel, and help me out. So down in the description, in the link below, you'll find a patreon.com/Stefan Kunz, where you can actually become a supporter for just $1. It's mostly just to finance like all these lights, all these equipment, the camera that shuts off like every 30 minutes. For me, it's hilarious because it just shows like, it's never gonna be perfect and all that, but it's where we are right now, and we use the tools that we have at our disposal already. If you look back like 2 months, the whole live stream was at a totally different place, and I'm still trying to figure out the content that I want to produce on this channel, how I want to create more stuff and do all the cool stuff. So if you want to follow along the journey and see how I'm progressing on this channel and trying out new things, then don't forget to subscribe. Consider subscribing here on this channel, and I can't wait to see what we will do next. So until then, guys, I'm excited that you were here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for actually watching the replay if you're looking at the replay. And then until the next time, guys, see you very soon, and have a great day.